I've had somebody ask me about my room, wanted to see the stuff in it. I have videos where I do some talking in my room, but usually the camera's stationary and it doesn't show like a whole lot. So I just figured I'd show some stuff off that I've drawn. And I'll start with this. This, as you no doubt can tell, is from the Metallica. Metallic in acrylic paint replicated it from a poster on blackboard. And then this is a collage that I made out of magazine cutouts. I've actually made a lot of these. And then this is from the movie Cyborg. Just Fender, the knife-wielding psycho. I drew this on Adderall. Adderall was one of like 4 of my favorite substances to draw stuff on. Now these I did in colored pencil, usually on acid or mushrooms. Obviously I do a lot of hallucinogens, but I drew these in colored pencil, marker, pen, and I think that's basically it. Oh, and pencil, regular pencil. This one has enough light as it is. This I drew in colored pencil. I was rolling ecstasy, the pink elephants. This is a photocopy of a picture that I gave to somebody. That's not, it was drawn in pencil originally. This I spray painted. This is just melted spray paint. Looks like a big rabid creature attacking like a beholder that you'd see in like Heroes of Might and Magic 3. This is also spray paint. Now this big one. I drew in regular pen. I called it Megorbuloid. There's obviously a whole bunch of shit in the way, so I can't really show all of it. Megorbuloid. I drew that on acid. This one I actually drew completely sober. A bunch of people shooting each other up. A bunch of people I went to high school with. I named the pictures, like everyone that I went to high school with is in this picture, being blown apart. And that one I actually drew completely sober. These I drew in with a spirograph. Some of you may have heard of it. Really old art tool. that I thought was really cool. It's made out of gears that you spin in circles with a pin through holes. It was a lot of fun. Rubik's World. And another picture I drew on Adderall. This is another thing that I drew with Spirograph. I just put it way over here because I was out of room. And this was my idea of what you'd see in parks, the fuck stations. You load the woman up in the springs, and then you pull her up and down. And then this was fuck station 2. And you pretty much stand on a podium, whether you want to fuck her in the ass or in the cunt. There's the path, the people watching. And you, with your other hand, you have to switchboard to be able to spin her. The whole thing spins around in circles, so you can turn her. So this I drew on Adderall. Hank Hill, after he gets divorced from Peggy. There's Ladybird the dog with all the drinks and shit spilled on it in the cage. He has a new dog with a six-pack holster attached. This used to be in my old room. I moved it down here. This is just something I drew in a SketchUp program. SketchUp 8. Drew a picture of Kakarot, Napoleon, and then I had another picture here. It was Piccolo, but somebody stole it. This is just a blueprint, or a X-ray of what the inside of my leg looks like now. Obviously I broke it quite badly. And then this I also drew in SketchUp. Google SketchUp. This I drew in AutoCAD. AutoCAD is an awesome art program. It's better than like actual art programs, such as MS Paint. Lucas the Lime Salt Duck. Oh yeah. And this is another cutthroat from the movie Wishmaster, when Mr. Hyde rips out of that big painting, starts cutting that dude's throat. I thought that was so funny that I wanted to have a picture of it. And then this I drew on LSD. I was on Adderall when I drew that. I was drawing a knot on a fence. I was like, that does not look like a knot right now. It was a stencil I painted in spray paint. Same with this one, although it only looks good with in fluorescent, or in a black light, because I spray painted it fluorescent. So I have a black light right here and across the room. This I drew in Google SketchUp 8. Too bad you don't actually, too bad it isn't bigger. I should have made it as big as that one that I drew in AutoCAD, so that you can see how sharp those spikes actually get on the end. Because in the program, you can keep zooming in and zooming in on those little spikes. I went all out on making those fucking sharp. And this I drew, it's called The War Between the Black and the Blue. But it's hard to tell the difference now because the black has become kind of faded. still barely see which is black and which is blue. These are road reflectors that I acquired. I wanted one of each color road reflectors, so I went out and I stole reflectors straight off the highway. And then I made some, I guess you hold those. There's duct tape wrapped on them so they don't hurt your finger for punching people in the face. Thank God I never actually had to use them. But I've carried them around when I felt, in places I thought I might feel threatened. I think all someone would take is one hit. Those are deck screws drilled through a shovel handle. There's a medieval flail. This I did in pen and marker. This one I did in just pencil. People whipping saw blades at each other. Razor sharp saw blade, just in a big racquetball court. It's like dodgeball. Throwing saw blades at each other. But I can't show the whole picture because there's a TV in the way. And this one I drew on LSD. In pen and marker. This one I did in oil pastel. I asked somebody what that says and they told me A-E-I-O-U. And I said, that's a good guess, but that's wrong. Yes, I drew in pencil. And some of you might be able to identify what game this is that I drew this. This is from SimCity 2000. I drew every building in the game in pencil. I was rolling through about half of it. You can guess what I was on when I drew this. It actually isn't finished. The background is supposed to be completely covered with colors like that. But I was like, fuck, it's so strenuous, maybe I'll finish it some other time, and I just decided to fucking hang it up. This I drew in pen while I was on acid. This is one of my roommates. I don't know why I did this. Pack the throat slashes. That's from his name's pack. Just a bunch of shit I drew sober sitting around on a kitchen table. This one, I was on Adderall when I drew this. The guy getting all this tech shit, getting his face ripped off. I call it Techno Scream. He's firing a fusion gun at you with one hand, while with his other hand he's holding onto a laser gun. But you can't see the whole thing because the shelf is in the way. This one I drew in marker. Just a bunch of rampant marker. Same with this one. Except I didn't draw the shape. It was just something to color in. I just colored in a big blanket that was completely white. And this I drew in SketchUp. This is the one and only picture I've done in watercolor on acid. And that day I'd been out train spotting and my phone rang. couldn't get the thought out of my head. I was like, man, that is so fucking weird to carry around this thing where someone can summon me. Only in the last, like, 15 years out of the 4 billion years this world is old. Who knows how many, maybe even a million years that man has been around. I don't know how old mankind is, but it's probably pretty fucking old. Only in the last 15 have we been carrying around fucking little devices that are... And I tried as best I could to paint how I felt. I felt like an alien, and I was wearing a zip-up front sweater, and I was reaching into one of the pouches on it. It had 2 pockets where the zipper was, and it felt like I was reaching into my body when I had my hand in the pocket. This is another big collage of colored pencil art, mainly on acid. It goes way back there. See, a lot of my art is covered up. That's another piece. That's actually a really cool piece back there behind that shelf that I drew in marker. And then a lot of this stuff is just posters. I think I've shown this big thing. It's this big stencil that I drew. And there's a golden spiral that I drew, that I painted with spray paint. And then came back through with acrylic. Painted the black. Oh, fuck. Where's the cord that goes to this? Right here. Okay, I'm gonna plug this in. Alright. This poster kind of looks like shit. And it might be kind of hard to grab what the point is until turn off the lights. And then it comes to life. It's fluorescent. I like black lights and I like fluorescence. And so I decided to do a square one, a triangle one. That's the first one you saw earlier, way over on the ceiling, but you need that other black light on to really see it. I did a circle, a triangle, a square. I just think a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally suspect. Looking cool. Looks cool in the black light. And that's the triangle one that you need this black light on to see. Let's see, did I show everything? I think so. Maybe not on this side of the wall. Oh yeah, more stuff that I did in melted dripping spray paint. You might be able to tell me what movie that's from. I'm gonna leave that flashlight. And a lot of stuff is just hidden on like walls behind shit. This is just something I wrote. I have really weird handwriting. I've been told that by a lot of people. My handwriting is really weird. think I showed everything that isn't buried behind something. So yeah. That's my room. Oh yeah. I don't know if I showed this, which isn't very impressive. Okay. That's my room.